make sure everything's working okay. Alright. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Maitland Rutledge, with a Madden 24 live stream, back with the New Orleans Saints rebuild in Madden 24 on the PS4. Part 3, getting ready to start the 2025 season. Normally, you guys can see me stream on Sundays, but, tonight's an exception because it's the start of my weekend, a weekend that I've really been looking forward to. For those of y'all that don't know, with my job as a news photographer at a local television station here in the Corpus Christi area, I work weekends, and my days off are Monday and Tuesday, and today was a shit show. I don't care. I'm cursing during this because today was absolutely fucking ridiculous. Breaking news, car accidents, you name it. Just a ridiculous day. And I just want to take off some steam by getting into Madden, getting this weekend started, and just taking my mind off of everything that happened this weekend because, oh my gosh, it was so infuriating. And there's other things that I want that are making me a little bit agitated right now, but I don't want to get into that right now. I just want to go ahead and take my mind off of it, get back in the New Orleans Saints rebuild, and try to get this team to be better in 2025. Okay, so where we left off last, we're going into year 2 with Caleb Williams as our starting quarterback. I did change his number to 13 because originally that was actually worn by Cooper Rush, who we signed to be a backup quarterback at the beginning of preseason, basically because, Hainer is our backup at 60 overall. I just didn't want to have a very low-rated backup quarterback. So I got Caleb Williams in here, 79 overall, going into his second year, but I think he'll probably get into the 80s by the end of this year. I'm pretty confident about that. We still have Kamara as our running back, 87, 79 for Jamal Williams, and we still have Miller, and we have Hardy back in his natural position of running back. We drafted Morgan Howard, fullback, 69 overall, but it's okay. Michael Thomas no longer with us, so Johnny Wilson, who we drafted last year out of Florida State, didn't really get a whole lot of playing time, although I got a decent amount of playing time with him in our final regular season game. He has shot up the depth chart to our number 2 receiver at 76 overall. Hopefully, this is a decision that doesn't come back to haunt me very much. I mean, we got a 90 big number 1 receiver in Chris Olave at 90 overall. And we have 75 A.T. Perry, 72 Andre Green Jr., a rookie we drafted out of North Carolina. We still have Brandon Smith here. We have Marcus Washington and O'Keefe and Harrell. So receiving core is a little bit lacking in terms of another bona fide name receiver. Tight ends, Foster Moreau is going to be our starter, but also Colby Parkinson I expect to get a lot of playing time too, as well as Taysom Hill. Left tackle, first-round pick, Will Campbell out of LSU, 80 overall left tackle. Definitely something we needed. We did sign Tommy Doyle in the offseason to give us some help there. Left guard, Trevor Penning is back at 76 overall. Schaefer. We have Lester Cotton, who we also signed for depth purposes. We still have Eric McCoy and Michael Dieter we signed to back him up. Right guard, Tevin Jenkins was one of our free agent acquisitions, 84 overall right guard, only 27. Sal Wormley, of course, started last year, but, we need to get somebody better than that at right guard. And right tackle, we still have Ramczyk, and Landon Young's going to back him up again this year. Robinson is 76 overall, but we did draft Darius Smith out of Georgia. He was one of our top rookies this season, 74 overall. Definitely could use some help still on the defensive end. We still have Granderson at 81 overall, and we have Jordan Riley. Defensive tackles, we still have Brees, we got Shepard, we got Saunders, and Volsek. We have Anfrey Jennings at 75 overall. Linebacker, one of our free agent acquisitions. Because, of course, we still have Hopper going into his second season, but not a whole lot of development there so far. Kenny Young, 72 linebacker, Jackson, 67, and we drafted Earl Landry, 64 overall, middle linebacker as well. And we have a 67 Neppy Sewell. So right outside linebacker, not really anything too big, but we still have Marshawn Lattimore. We have St. Just. We have Taylor. We got Denver Harris, who we also drafted this year out of LSU. We have DL going into his second year. We have Lance Boykin, and we have Brownlee, Lewis, and a bunch of other guys that I really don't know too much about. Free safety, we brought back the Honey Badger at 86 overall. I didn't really want to let him get to free agency, but we had to free up cap room in the offseason because finally this offseason we have money to spend, so I spent it. We drafted Johnny Melton, a free safety out of Cal, to back him up. We still have Brad Hawkins, and we have Gray. Strong safety, we still have Marcus May. We have Howen backing him up, Moffitt, Coyle, and Bradford as well. We still have Groupie, who we changed to number 4, and we have Headley is our punter. So that is our squad going into year 3. You know, right outside linebacker, I actually want to go ahead and take a look at the free agent market and see if there's anybody out there in the 70s who could help us out, because I don't really feel confident with a 67 overall guy over there. I could move somebody over to the right side, but I want to go ahead and get some help for the right outside linebacker position. Shaq Barrett's available. Okay, so you know what, Shaq? Go ahead and come over here. We need some help. We're going to sign you to our active roster. Okay, so cool. 1-year deal for Shaq Barrett. He's going to come over here, hopefully be able to provide us a little bit of help. Let me go actually and maybe change his number to, like, I think he used to wear like 48 or something like that. So we're going to bring in some veteran leadership in the linebacking core. I mean, I don't know how much more that Barrett has left in the tank, but 76 is better than 67. It's a natural overall thing. So we're bringing in Shaq Barrett right before the season to give us some help, because then again, we can get these guys on the cheap for a 1-year deal. Hopefully we can get some decent production out of him and maybe some other guys as well. That's what I'm really hoping for. And let me see. Let me just give him a number 58. That's kind of what he used to wear. So I'm going to give him number 58 for his number. And we're bringing in Shaq Barrett, 1-year deal, right outside linebacker to help out on that side to get some veteran leadership there. And look at the Jaguars. They got Nick Chubb as their starting running back at 98 overall. That'll be interesting. So let's see. Let's go ahead and get through our preseason games and let's see how we do. And we'll go forward from there. You know, normally these live streams are a little bit more positive, and I started out pretty feisty, but you know, I don't want to talk about too much of what happened today. Let's just say when a lot of stuff happens and you have a skeleton crew when a lot of breaking news happens and you have a skeleton crew on the weekends and a low market television station, you're going to have a lot of things that aren't able to air. And one of them was a story that I shot early this morning. Came in early to shoot it, and it didn't make either of our shows because of breaking news happening all over the place. Hopefully this isn't the beginning of the summer of death, because one of the issues that happens here in an area where there's a lot of water is that there's a lot of drownings. And that's the kind of stuff that just makes me sick. Makes anybody sick. And quite frankly, it's a far cry from what I want to be doing with my career. That's why I'm doing stuff like this. Okay. Going up against the Bengals, we lost our second preseason game. We're 1-1, so let's see if we can get a win against the Bengals to wrap up the preseason, and we'll see how we do going into the regular season. I don't know if this team is going to be good enough to make the playoffs, but I'm hoping that we're closer than we were last year. But maybe this defense still needs a lot of work. I don't know. And this may be the season afterwards where if there's a better head coach on the market than Dennis Allen, maybe time to upgrade that. So far, he's not the worst, but he, you know, if we can't do too much this season, then we're just as bad of a team as we were last year, then something tells me that it's the coach, but I don't know. We do have a lot of cuts to make, though. We got to cut 15 players, so let's go ahead and get to it. I know we have a bunch of receivers, so I'm actually going to start there. Ryan O'Keefe is a guy that we can deal without. Same thing with Harrell, and let me see how many receivers we have. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, battery level's low. Hopefully it lasts for the rest of this live stream. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can deal with having only 5 receivers this season. I think we'll be okay with that. All right. No, we can't cut Taysom Hill. I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep Hill, mostly because, you know, I just worry about that. So you know what, Schaefer, I'm actually going to go ahead and cut you. No increase in cap space, but Lester Cotton is rated better than him, so we're just going to cut him. right guard, right tackle. We don't have really a lot of depth at certain positions, so I can't really cut a bunch of players in different positions. We do have extra defensive tackles. I'm going to put Voschek on practice squad. He'll probably get picked up, but it is what it is. Middle linebacker, we got some extra one of these, but Earl is the guy we got. Yeah, Shaq's going to stay. Yeah, Battle, getting rid of you. Riley, getting rid of you as well. Let's see, how many corners do we have now? All right, we got a lot of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I think a lot of the rest of these guys are going to be pretty expendable. Same thing with Patterson. We're going to cut you. And Brownlee, we're going to cut you as well. I think everybody else, but keeping 6 corners, I think, is a good idea. We got a bunch of free safeties. Can we cut any of these guys? Can we cut this guy? Let's cut Hawkins. We got a lot of extra safeties. Yeah, Bradford, you can hit the road. I'm gonna cut Tyler Coyle as well. You know what? Hardy, we're going to have to cut ties with you, man. We got to create some room here. Let's go back to safeties because I feel like there was a safety we can easily get rid of. Yeah, Moffett, we're going to get rid of you. Mofat, I don't know if that's his real name, but all right. Made a couple interesting cuts, but, got the roster down to 53, so that's what we're going with. We don't have a lot of guys on practice squad, so we'll probably sign a bunch of random guys later, is my guess. But we will see. All right, well, going into the regular season, let's go ahead and first of all choose our draft class. So we are going to need a 2026 one, which I think is the one that will include Arch Manning. And it is. There he is, Arch Manning. And there's Max Murphy, Kelly, Morris, and Nelson. So that is an accurate draft class for 2026. Got that all loaded up and ready to go. So, now, we got to get down to business playing the Seattle Seahawks to open up the season. We're going in with an 80 offense, 77 defense, and 78 overall. We're still, I think, a team in repair. And this is also probably going to be another offseason. We're going to have some, cap money to work with. So I think we'll be in okay shape. But this season could be another year of no playoffs. It'd be pretty tough to start a rebuild with 3 straight seasons of no playoffs because even with the Seattle Seahawks rebuild, we didn't start off with 3 years of no playoffs. We did go the first year no playoffs, made it the second year, and then after that we just weren't able to get back because we couldn't figure out our quarterback situation. Despite the fact that we had talented players, at least I feel like we had talented players at a lot of positions, we just couldn't get over that hump. And I'm hoping that that's not a repeat deal with the Saints because, doing the Steelers rebuild in only 2 seasons, got it done, got my spirits back up that I can rebuild a team. And this Saints team is really the last team that I even think really needs a rebuild based on what Madden 24 rosters are looking like and where everything is with the league. I really don't see any other teams possibly needing a rebuild. So I think this is really it in terms of teams to rebuild. And of course, I mentioned going to do possibly do a Cowboys season mode, basically not like a franchise deal, but with the updated rosters. Zeke back on the roster, Eric Kendricks, rookies, Tyler Guyton, all that stuff. Just to tie me over until July because I got probably about 1 more month of streaming using my PS4. And here's the thing, I'm probably still going to keep my PS4 even after I get my PS5 because there are some games on here that I have that I still want to play. But once I get in College Football 25, a lot of my focus is going to be going to that game in July, and I'm really looking forward to it. Well, kind of starting off like last year, we're 2-5, not really in that great of a shape. Let's check out the negotiating. We do have $136 million to work with, so that's pretty nice. And you know what? Chris Olave, yes. But Kamara, but he's really not interested in actually resigning. He's actually dipped to an 84. Jamal Williams' contract is also up, so I think it's got to be one or the other. But I don't know who. Wow, we got a couple of guys we got to make decisions on. Some of these will be easier than others, but some of them won't, and I just wonder about that. Well, St. Justice, who we signed in the offseason as to help out with corner, still wants to be here. So maybe he'll take something that isn't too expensive. All right, well, he wants a player-friendly deal, so that's what he wants. All right, well, Chris Olave, we're not just going to let you walk away, sir. All right, what about this first player-friendly deal? This is a 5-year deal. This is a lot of money. Okay, so he wants something that is extremely friendly. And I would have to guess that Kamara would want the same thing. Let's start with the player-friendly and work our way up. Okay, so he was good with the player-friendly option. Good for Kamara. We got our starting running back locked in. I don't know how much longer he'll play, but I would hope that he could play for at least, the 2 years remaining of that contract. Who else? Well, if we're bringing back Kamara, we're just going to have to let Jamal Williams walk. Taylor is really backing up St. Just now, so I'm going to let him walk. Robinson, who we signed free agency, I feel like we can have better defensive end help than him. But Penning, I think I'm willing to keep. What about this 3-year deal? You want that? More convincing. Okay, all right then. All right, well, I'll think about it. Kind of stinks. It seems like a lot of these guys actually don't really want to come back. We'll just get an upgraded tight end. We'll let Foster walk. We do have Parkinson still here, who's like the same overall, so I'm willing to let that walk. Saunders is a backup. Same thing with Shepard. Young is our starting middle linebacker, but we can probably upgrade that. Dieter is a backup. So is Cotton. Sewell now he's the backup this season. We'll just probably have to redo the right outside linebacker position entirely this offseason. Jackson's a backup. Hill, we're letting you walk. You're basically a Swiss Army knife random player. We'll let our punter walk. Same thing with Smith and everything. And I think everybody else will just let walk as well. We have a lot of depth guys whose contracts are up. Maybe I'll reconsider with some of these guys. But as of right now, Olave and I think St. Justice for sure are 2 players that I'm definitely looking to keep around for the next few years. Definitely Olave. If not Justice, definitely Olave. Okay, let's go ahead and take care of that. Let me go ahead and answer media questions here. Chris Olave, he's going to be a part of this team one way or another. We want to keep him here as a Saint for longer. No question about that. Let's answer another media question. Alvin Kamara is going to be part of team one way or another. We were able to re-sign him, so we got it taken care of. I mean, those are 2 big-name guys that I want to keep for sure. If we keep 2 guys, definitely them. Well, we're going against the 1-6 Patriots this week. Hopefully we can get a win and start to get a little bit of momentum because we've been bottom dwellers in the NFC South since the beginning of this rebuild. I hope that Williams is going to have a better year this year, so maybe he at least gets higher overall. And we lose again. We lost by 14. So once again, now we're 2-6. The Bills are 2-5, so they're not doing much better than us, it looks like. So that's a little bit interesting. And then again, the landscape of the NFL sometimes changes by this point in the rebuild quite by a lot. A lot of players retire or contracts are up and they go elsewhere. There's going to be changes if we can't make the playoffs. And it's going to start at the top with coaching. But our talent is also not super great, so I'm not going to really hold Dennis Allen's head to the fire too much, but I feel like to an extent we could probably get a better coach in here to help out with turning things around. Okay, so Olave really wants a massive deal. This is a lot, 6 years, but he's excited to sign that, and now we're down to 107. So he did not like that. So what about the player-friendly deal? Okay, so he likes the player-friendly deal. He'll take that. All right. So that wasn't too much of an increase. He still gives us 107 to work with. Williams, we're already determined we're going to let you walk. Penning is a guy that I still want to keep for sure. What about the player-friendly deal here? bigger offer. Okay, all right. So he wants a very, very friendly deal. You know, I think we probably do a little bit better than that. If he's going to be asking for that much money, I think that's a little bit unreasonable. Hopefully, maybe I'll change my mind, but I don't know. These guys are interested, but they're just not high overall guys, so I'm not really too keen on that. I may consider bringing back Shaq Barrett just so we have a bridge stopgap guy, even though he's 32 years old. But I'll probably wait till the end of the season to determine if I want to do that. Because if we're going to let Sewell walk as our backup, then I want to have at least one right outside linebacker in there. We can obviously address it this offseason in the draft or free agency, but just going to wait on that. All right, we're 2-6 going against the 2-5 Bills, but they're rated better than us in every asset, so this may be another loss. We may be headed for a tougher season than I expected. Wow, and we get a 25-point win over the Buffalo Bills. Well, that's definitely a shot in the arm we needed at this point of the season to get us to just 3-6. The Bucs are 4-5, so we're only one game behind them. And let me see how the rest of the division is looking, because I haven't even looked extensively at that. Well, Panthers are 7-1, Falcons are 6-2. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of catching up to do if we want to even sniff the postseason in year 3, which may be a pretty tough ordeal. That's gonna be easier said than done. I'm not going to worry about negotiating with players this week. I'm going to go ahead and just send through the bye week and get ready for a big matchup against the Bucs. If we win this game, we could possibly tie them for 3rd in the division, but that's going to be tough, considering that, you know, we're still a team that is still struggling in a lot of ways. So May is 77, so let me take a look at negotiations now. Maybe some guys have actually gotten interested in coming back. You know, Jamal Williams' interest is up there, but I don't think but we got Kamara coming back, so I don't think it's worth to try to bring him back. You know what? With Penning, I'm going to go ahead and bite the bullet and give him a 4-year deal to come here. Wait, he wants more than... Okay, no. That is it. Penning, you're not coming back. You're done. You're done. We're done with you. So I'm thinking just for depth reasons, I'm going to bring back Saunders on a 1-year deal just for depth. Because if we're going to let that other D-tackle walk, like we're going to let Hand walk for sure, we're definitely going to let Shepard walk because he's the worst. We're bringing him back to help out with that. I'm letting Young walk because we just need to upgrade middle linebacker altogether. I feel like, you know, get a real new starter in there. But I'm gonna bring back DeMarco Jackson on a 2-year deal. Okay, all right. Well, he doesn't want a 2-year deal. Okay, well, you know what, Jackson, we're not gonna mess with you if you're gonna drive up a hard bargain like that, mister. Okay, so let me take a look at right tackles. Let me take a look at actually. Well, Ramchak, but Lanny Young's backing him up. Okay, so Lanny Young's the backup. I don't need to worry about him. Doyle's the backup at left tackle, but he's backing up. So we got those positions addressed. Okay, then. So I think that may just be about it for the guys that I really want to bring back. Penning is going to he's driving up the hard bargain right now. I mean, he's really trying to get me to spend like all my money at him. Like, that's just not going to happen, dude, for a 76 overall right guard. That's ridiculous. We can do better in free agency or the draft, especially since we're 3-6. Well, let's see. 4-6 Bucs this week. If we can get a win, maybe we can finally do something, but I'm kind of hoping against hope. Hey, we got a 3-point win. All right, and now we are 3rd place in the division. I don't know if this is the first time we've been in 3rd place in the rebuild. You want to talk about baby steps. Those are definitely baby steps, but we're not at the bottom of the NFC South right now. The key word is right now, because we could easily lose this week to the Panthers and get blown out, because the Panthers are the best team in the division at 9-1. Bryce Young must just be playing out of his mind right now. He must have developed by this point. And not only that, but we also have the Falcons and the Bucks in a couple more weeks. So we played the Bucks. We got to play them again in a few weeks. All right, well, at 4-6 right now, I don't really know how many more wins we're going to get. Just hoping that we can do a little bit better than last year, but I'm hoping against hope, especially going on the road to face a Carolina Panthers team that's 9-1 and playing very good right now. Well, we lose by 7. You know, we're not getting blown out of these games, but we are losing a lot of them. So that's kind of the deal that I've noticed the first 3 seasons. We've lost a bunch of games, but we're not losing them by a lot, but we still have work to do. I think this defense really just needs a massive overhaul. I want to feel like it's coaching, but I also feel like that we don't have as much talent when this began, and we're still trying to retool everything. And we have, you know, we have a decent amount of players that are kind of aging at this point. And even the Honey Badger is considered pretty old. And we've got a 32-year-old Shaq Barrett right outside linebacker who may retire. So it's kind of a deal where it's tough to see if, you know, we're going to be able to rebuild as quickly as I want to. So kind of tough, but we'll see. And we're playing the Falcons this week. We're also playing in a pretty tough division. A lot of the 3 other teams in this division seem to be pretty solid year in and year out. And we're just the team that unfortunately is trailing all of them. And we lose by 2 touchdowns to them. And unfortunately, we have a new injury. Let's see who's hurt. Hopefully it's nobody too significant. Well, oh my goodness. And Anfrey Jennings is out forever. 37 weeks. Well, he's going on IR, and we're just going to have to sign somebody to take over for his spot. One of our free agent signings, not a really big free agent signing. I mean, he's only 74 overall, but we're going to have to go to the free agent market. And, well, we do have that kid Hopper in there, but I still feel like we should bring in somebody to help. Looks like Denver Harris got some extra playing time, which is good to see some of the rookies play. But for these guys to develop, it could take a little while. I mean, we could always wait out, you know, the other teams and see if they are going to, you know, lose, you know, players to retirement or other ways. So, I don't know. Left outside linebackers. For the rest of the season, we're going to bring in Patrick Jones II. We're going to bring him in to help out at left outside linebacker because Jennings is out for the rest of the season. That's what we're going to do. He's a 71 overall guy. Doesn't fit the scheme, but he's going to provide us a little bit of extra help until we're able to, when Jennings comes back next year. Hopefully healthy, but we'll see because I don't really know. Yeah, Patrick Jones, 72 overall. That's not bad for a substitute. Now, Hopper is still stuck at a 65 overall, so I feel like, you know, we may reach the deal in this rebuild where a lot of these rookie contracts are going to run out, and I don't think some of these guys are worth a second contract. You know, the way it's looking like, I don't think they are. And once again, we're back to the bottom of the NFC South, and we're playing a 5-7 Dolphins team this week. But I want to take a look at negotiating and see if maybe I need to reconsider some decent players who are still here. You know, just guys that probably I should consider bringing back, mostly just to keep things looking better. But Penning is driving up the price ridiculously, so I just don't want to invest all that money in him. As far as the rest of these guys for depth, yeah, none of them. Okay, I don't think we're negotiating with anybody else. Maybe Shaq at the end of the season just to get some consistency at the linebacker position, just give us some veteran help, but I don't know. So let's see. Dolphins 5-7. They still have Tyreek Hill, and they have Tua, I assume. They're rated about what we are, so we may be able to get a win here, but who knows? And we do. We win by 2 touchdowns. So now we're 5-8. We're definitely not making the playoffs this season once again. So the first 3 years, no playoffs. Hopefully this offseason we'll have some big-name free agents available. I feel like this offseason we're going to have to spend the money. We may have to even make some trades to get this team, you know, to be better quicker than I expect. But I don't know. All right, so we're playing the Bucks this week. Another big matchup. If we beat them, we could obviously go to third place in our division once again. But I think in the grand scheme of things, that's not really helping us too much. But maybe it will. I'm not sure. You know, maybe from a confidence standpoint, get some division wins under our belt, build that confidence up. And we lose by 7. So yeah, we're gonna finish with a losing record for sure this season. Once again, 5-9 is our record, and we're playing a 4-10 Bears team. All right, we have 3 games left. We got the Rams and we got the Falcons to end the season. Of course, we're going to play that game for sure. Final regular season game against the Falcons. Who we actually played to end the season the first year of this rebuild in 2023. So, kind of full circle moment. But the Falcons are a much better team than they were a few years back. And we lose again. We're 5-10. And not only did we lose, we lost. Well, it was only 2 touchdowns. I thought it was only 7 at first. But we did lose kind of brutally at the end to the Bears, who are 4-10. So, yeah. All right. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just get some solid help, and I'm going to get some help at linebacker for the future, and I'm going to give Shaq Barrett. Let's see if he'll take this 2-year deal. Okay, so he's fine with a 2-year deal. I didn't want to go low ball with the 1 year because I felt like he wouldn't come back for that. But everybody else is going to be hitting the market. We're going to let everybody else walk. But I want to go ahead and keep Shaq Barrett, not because I think we can do better than him in the offseason, but I feel like if there is somebody better, good. If not, I think it's a safe bet to keep him around for, you know, maybe the final years of his career, just to help out with you know, just give us some stability out there at the linebacker position. 8-7 Rams this week. They're probably fighting for playoff position, but I don't know. I'll take a look at the playoff bracket before we play the final game against the Falcons and kind of see what the landscape of the NFL is looking like for this season. And we beat the Rams. Wow, so we beat a team that had a winning record, and we're 6-10. So I guess if we win, we could probably match our record from, I don't know, I can't remember if it was the first year or the second year. Let me see if I can take a look at, like, team success. Like, can it show, like, year-by-year records, or does it not? Because I don't really know. Recent records, 6-10. Historic, okay. So, can't really say what our record is each year, but still. Can it show schedule for, like, different years? Team schedule. Okay. Oh, postseason. I thought it said past season. Okay. So we can't see that. All right. That's fine. Okay, then. Well, let's take a look at the playoff picture. We're playing the 12-4 Falcons this week, and they actually have the #1 seed in the NFC. Now, normally circumstances would say that they're probably going to rest their starters for this game because it's a meaningless game for them and essentially a meaningless game for us. If we win, it doesn't mean anything. For them, I don't know if it means they hold on to the #1 seed or not. I'll take a look at maybe what the Cowboys' record is and see if maybe like we did a couple of years ago with keeping them out of the playoffs, we can play spoiler, but I don't know. It does look like, once again, the playoffs will have 2 teams from the NFC South. And that's another reason why I said what I said earlier. It seems like that the first 3 years of this rebuild, at least 2 teams from our division have made the playoffs. So there's a chance, but it's either the Falcons or really the Panthers. Those are the teams that make the postseason, you know, and or it's the Bucks. We're always left on the outside looking in pretty much. So that's pretty tough. Cowboys #2 seed, Washington #7 seed. So the Commanders are on a little bit of a resurgence right now. Lions 3, Packers 6, Rams 4, who we beat last week, surprisingly. Panthers 5th. Ravens, Titans, Bills, Bengals, Jaguars, Chiefs. Chargers have the best record. They would have the 1 seed. So if we were to maybe beat the Falcons in the final regular season game, would that maybe, let's see, league schedule or standings. No, let's go back, actually. Let's go look at standings for the whole NFC here. Let's go ahead and view standings. I just want to see what the Cowboys' record is. If they may be like in contention for the #1 seed. No, they're 9-7, but they're leading the NFC East. Okay. Wow, the two teams from our division have the best record in the NFC. Wow. We're still a ways away from competing, which it makes me feel a little bit disheartening because it seems like that this rebuild is going to take longer than I expected. Okay, so if we beat the Falcons this week, it actually might mean something, because if the Panthers win, then I guess it would give them the same record. Because we would beat them, maybe 12-5. Panthers would be 12-5 as well if they win. So, could be a situation where maybe the Panthers would get the #1 seed and we knock Falcons back into the 2 seed. I don't know. But we'll see what happens. First things first, we got to go out there and we got to try to win a game. Playing at home in the Dome. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a win to wrap up the season. I'm just going to leave the regular uniforms on for this one. We're 6-10 right now. We can end the season with 7 wins, which I think would be decent. It would show that but it would also show that we're still in the same position we were when we first started, which is a marginal, outside looking in type of a playoff team, outside of the playoffs for sure. So maybe next year would be the year, but I don't know. Another thing is that because I've decided to do a live stream for part 3, the 2025 season of this Saints rebuild, I'm probably going to do another stream tomorrow afternoon with part 4 with the 2026 season. So just letting y'all know that because I did this tonight, probably means tomorrow afternoon that I'm going to get back on the sticks and bring you guys part 4 with the 2026 season and see what we can do the year after this. I don't think I actually have kind of backtracked a little bit. I actually don't think I'm going to change coaches this offseason because I just think that today, maybe this free agency period will be better and we're going to have some more talent to choose from. So I'm going to bank on that a little bit. But if that doesn't happen and next year is another no playoff season, then Dennis Allen needs to be fired. We can't continue being stuck at a 6-11, 7-10 mark at this point with Caleb Williams' prime years being basically wasted. Because this is his second season. I'm sure he's doing well, but we haven't made the playoffs. So we still got work to do, obviously. Alright, and we're playing the best team in the NFC, and we almost threw an interception. Okay, alright, I gotta calm down. That was not a good idea to start out with. Alright,
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. The first carry.
Here we go, Kamara. Loose! Okay, I don't know why I juke back inside like that. He probably wasn't going to get to it. Kamara's dipped a little bit to being an 84, because he was an 87 to start the season. But he's still a decent running back.
It's a first down.
That's why I wasn't really thinking too hard about trying to bring back Jamal Williams instead of him, even though Jamal's 78. But hey, I'd rather take a guy in the 80s than a guy in the 70s to start the running back.
They'll look to throw.
It's next season.
Eluding the pressure.
All right, just run, Caleb. Just run, Caleb. Keep going. Dive, touchdown. Caleb Williams does it himself on the scramble. Let's go. Nice job, Caleb. Back on offense, we got I guess we got a turnover.
Now can this offense take advantage? Great field position, 1st and 10 in the red zone.
Over the middle, there we go. Chris Olave to the 1. Nice job.
And the Saints are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all
26 duo. Let's get it in with Kamara. All right, we cap off the short drive, off the turnover with a touchdown run by Kamara. Up 14-0 on the best team in the NFC. Falcons get a field goal. All right, they're creeping back. And they take the lead. Oh, but we got a touchdown. And we're already towards the end of the second quarter.
This defense looking for a big third down stop here. They're already down on the scoreboard, just trying to get the ball back to their offense. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Flush to his right.
Get away from him. Get away. Get out of bounds. There we go. We have all 3 of our timeouts left, so I still want to probably use them starting now after this one. All right. Ooh, 4th and 12. Okay, well, they're going to let us kick a field goal. That's fine.
Time now, as this
This guy can make a 56-yard field goal, but let's see. 56! Got it. Nice. All right, now we're up by 9 points over the Falcons, and hopefully they don't score a touchdown or points before half. We're going to the half up 9, and we do. Back on offense, 3rd and 10.
Down situation coming up in the 3rd quarter, and this defense hoping to turn that 3rd down into 4th. Again, he'll drop to throw.
Oh, man.
Escaping the pressure right.
I just got to throw it away. I had no chance. At least let us kick the field goal from here. All right, good. 45-yarder.
Here's Blake Groupie now for the Saints field goal.
Right,
he made his first attempt, this from 45. And this one
and Groupie is good again on the field goal. That gives us a 13-point lead, or 12-point lead. So that helps. Would have loved to have 7, but 12 is fine. All right. And defense here. 4th and 2. This is kind of gutsy gut check time for the Falcons.
They'll run for it with Robinson.
Nowhere to run. We stop Robinson. They don't get the first down. Honey Badger comes up and makes the play. Let's go. All right, the Falcons do get in. They're only down by 5, and they take the lead on us. Wow. Well, we got to come back to win this one. We're backed up almost in the shadow of our own goal line here. I don't know how we got here, but we did. Somehow, held onto that ball.
Pickup of 8 leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. From the gun, it's a run for
Power through Kamara. There we go.
Let's keep the 16-yard line.
I feel like I kind of want to take my time with this because we're only down by 1 point. We just need a field goal to win this game. We're almost to the 2-minute warning, so we can kind of let this trickle down if we want. But we're really going to be smart with the football. It was awesome. But Williams got drilled as he threw it.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make 2nd down, 2nd and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
Oh, man, that was a bad God, I can't believe I did that.
It's intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates. And a terrific
that was an awful throw
that
I just made there. That was terrible. I should not have done that with Caleb. I just threw it off my back foot. Just floated that ball up there. Oh, man.
We got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on 1st down. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. So they come up on 2nd down, and they can get another run like we just saw. Would likely put an end to this thing. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball. And he is going to have a Falcons 1st down. And it would appear that that's going to be the one.
That was a terrible throw. I'm upset with myself for being that. That was terrible.
Robinson with another carry.
That guy shot the gap, but it doesn't matter. He almost got the first on first down.
Now the Saints will use their 3rd and final timeout.
As they'll talk things over prior to this. And
we
were up 12 in this game. We lost.
Straight ahead, it's
Woo, that was a big hit.
And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Back to throw, Ritter.
Complete.
He was open,
well,
couldn't get it to him.
well, they're gonna go for it. Okay, all right. Wow. Okay. Get in there.
They'll try and run for it.
Oh no, he stopped. Oh my goodness. If Robinson were to go inside instead of outside, that's a touchdown. Wow, we have 59 seconds to drive down the field for a field goal. Gosh, but we're in the shadow of our own end zone.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive.
Olave, please. First down. Let's go.
And he'll be
Out of bounds.
At the 35.
And this is one of those gotta have it
Perfect.
drives.
Oh
You
my
can't spend
goodness,
much
that
more
was
than that.
beautiful.
Big yardage there. And just as important, he's able to get out of bounds. And now that changes everything.
Olave again.
Oh my goodness, he pulled it in
Spike it.
one-handed.
Spike the football.
This offense,
We're already in field goal range.
no timeouts remaining as they come up
All right.
first down. They'll try again here.
Wow.
2nd and 10.
Chris Olave.
Back to throw.
Again.
Throwing out right.
Get out of bounds. Wow. Falcons have fallen apart like a $5 suitcase. They're just letting Olave get free.
Absolutely ideal there. Get a good size play. Get out of bounds.
I don't want to get too greedy though and think
It is
7.
taught, and it
Let's.
is emphasized. Get out of bounds. Understand your situation, as well as just
Oh,
understanding the game.
Back to throw. He'll buy some time right.
Touchdown! Oh my goodness! Johnny Wilson was open. I didn't know if he was going to catch it, but we did. Wow. Williams, oh, that was an ugly looking pass, but nevertheless, it's a touchdown. We didn't even really need a touchdown, but we got one. Wow. The unbelievable way to end this season in this game. Whoa. We get a stop on 4th down, no timeouts, 59 seconds, and we go right down that field and score a touchdown when we only needed 3. I mean, I thought about throwing the ball out of bounds there just to preserve some time, but hey, if Wilson is going to be that open and they left him open, I figured, hey, just throw it to him. See what he can do. Intercepted. Game over. Game is over. Atlanta Falcons, we might have just knocked you out of the #1 seed in the NFC with that win. Whoa. Also, what a drive by Caleb Williams. Like that I would hope that that's some big time momentum going into next season. I would just hope so. But wow, what a way to finish the season.
And what do real estate people tell us all the time? It's location,
Although,
location,
we wouldn't have been in that
location.
position if we
So,
didn't fold in the 4th quarter. I mean, we were up by 12 at one point in the second half. We had 111 rushing yards. The Falcons totally outpassed us through the air. But Caleb Williams had a great drive at the end, and he found Johnny Wilson for that touchdown where the guy kind of came off of him a little bit, let him free, and Wilson caught it for the score. Beautiful. Wow, what a way to end the year. So we're going to finish the season 7-10. Still a ways away, but you know, a win like this against the #1 seed in the NFC is that's going into the playoffs. I would hope that gives the team a little bit of confidence, but I mean, you know, momentum doesn't really carry over in video games. It just carries over in your mind. That's kind of the way I look at it. All right, well, let's take a look at the playoff bracket, and let's see if us winning... Well, they actually didn't really mess with anything. The Falcons are still going to have the #1 seed, but still, we beat a team that's going to the playoffs and is the best team in the NFC to end the year. I know it didn't mean much to them, and it didn't really mean too much to us. It meant a little bit more to us, just try to play spoiler, but I'm guessing everything else worked out where everybody kind of stayed put, and that's the way it's looking for year 3. Ravens, Colts, Jaguars, Bengals, Bills, Chiefs, and the Chargers have the #1 seed. Falcons, #1 seed. Lions, Eagles, Cowboys, Packers. Wow, that'll rematch of the real-life one in 2023. Hopefully it'll be better for you, Cowboys. And Niners, Panthers. That's the way it's looking right now. All right. Let's go ahead and advance past the wild card round. see about the divisional round of the playoffs. I want to actually take a look at stats for this year. I want to see how Caleb Williams was doing. Well, 4,700 yards. I think this is the back-to-back 4,000-yard season for him. He passed for, I think, 4,000 as a rookie. 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. That's not bad. Rushing-wise, Kamara had a 1,000-yard season, 12 touchdowns. Okay, so I think he's still got some years left in him. That makes me feel a little bit better about that. Receiving-wise, Olave, 1,300 yards, 5 touchdowns. But the leader in touchdowns was actually Johnny Wilson. Okay, he had 855 receiving, so I guess his wide receiver number 2, he looks like he was doing okay. And Foster Moreau had 4 TDs to add to that. And the second and the third top guy in touchdowns was A.T. Perry with 3. Okay, well, interesting. Okay, let me take a look at team stats for the league, because I want to see, like, offensively, where did we, like, rate in terms of, like, total yardage, like in total offense? Where did we rank this season? Okay, we actually were ranked pretty decently. We were actually had a, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We had the 7th best offense in football in terms of total yardage. Passing touchdowns, we only had 23. Rushing TDs, we only had 24. So we didn't have as many, like, touchdowns as, like the Chiefs, who have 48 passing touchdowns. But that's Patrick Mahomes. Defensively, where were we? We actually didn't have a bad defense. Well, not as bad as we did last year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we had a basically 10th best defense, I guess. I mean, so I guess we're seeing some progression. Hopefully this is steps in the right direction. I will say, it looks better than we did the first 2 years. We had an offense that was pretty low. We had a defense that was pretty low. And this year we've got an offense that was 7th in total yards. And we had a defense that was number 10 in, like, yards given up. So, we didn't really surrender a whole lot of points. The most I saw surrender, I think, was like 45 or 42 or something like that. But that was only in a couple of games. That wasn't consistent, like, every week. Not only that, but when we had losses this year, they weren't by huge margins. So I feel like that we're getting close. We're not far off. But I don't know. I just hope we move forward next year. But with some more talent, we got another offseason where we can actually spend money. So hopefully that helps out. But we'll see. So, wild card round was like this. The Eagles upset the Lions and the Packers beat the Cowboys. Okay, just like in real life. And the Panthers beat the 49ers. So, in the NFC, all the lower seeds beat the higher seeds in the wild card round. And look at this. With the exception of the Jaguars, every lower seed in the wild card round in the AFC also won. Colts upset the Ravens. The Bengals lost to the Jaguars, as I mentioned, and the Bills got beat by the Chiefs. So it's Chargers, Colts, Jaguars, Chiefs, Falcons, Eagles, and Panthers, Packers in the divisional round. Very interesting, to say the least. All right, so let's go ahead and see who advances to the NFC and AFC championship games. See what happens then. All right, conference championship weekend. Chargers beat the Colts, and the Chiefs beat the Jaguars. So it's Chargers, Chiefs, probably Mahomes-Herbert showdown. Falcons beat the Eagles, and the Panthers did beat the Packers. So in the divisional round, the higher, with the exception of the Chiefs, the higher seeded teams actually did win. So it's going to be Falcons, and wow, so it's an NFC South, NFC championship. So basically, this is a championship game that I hope all of our players are watching, because this is a measuring stick game to watch. Because it's like, hey guys, we want to get at the level of these teams so we have a chance to compete to get to a Super Bowl one of these days. So that's what we expect. And it's the Chargers and the Chiefs. So that's championship weekend. All right, right, Super Bowl 50. It's the Falcons and the Chiefs, it looks like. And the Falcons beat the Panthers by 4. And the Chiefs, once again, continue their upsets on the road all the way as a 5th seed, knocking off the number 1 seed. And they really beat the Chargers pretty handily, 49-30. They scored 49 points in a championship game on the road. That is impressive. But then again, Mahomes is probably a 99 overall, so it's no wonder the Chiefs are back in the Super Bowl. So let's take a look at the Pro Bowl roster. Let's see if any of our Saints made it. I don't really think any of them did, but we will see. Alvin Kamara made the Pro Bowl, and he's got a new contract, so that's looking like it was a good investment. And so did Chris Olave. So we finally have a season where we have skill position guys make the Pro Bowl. Kamara and Chris Olave both made the Pro Bowl, so good for them. And did anybody else make it on offense? Ramczyk made it. All right. I wouldn't expect any of our linebackers to make it. We don't really have good linebackers right now. What about safety? What about the Honey Badger? No, he didn't make it. All right. Well, we got 3 guys, all on offense, no defense. Olave, Kamara, and Ramczyk. So those are our Pro Bowlers for this year. So year 3, it looks like our offense is actually... So it looked like in year 3, our offense started to take off a little bit more. You know, Caleb Williams in his 2nd year. Looks like he's developing okay. I don't know what his rating is right now. I'll look at that during the offseason, but I would imagine it's probably in the 80s by now. I would have to imagine that, but I'll look and see what his rating is looking like. So hopefully he continues to develop, which will definitely help out. The MVP of the league is Mahomes. Coach of the year is Gary Crawford of the Jaguars. So Doug Peterson must have gotten fired a year or 2 ago. I don't know. NFC, Offensive Player of the Year. No Saints, Defensive Player of the Year. No Saints, Offensive Rookie of the Year. No one. Oh, Morgan. Our fullback finished 10th for Offensive Player of the Year. Wow. Morgan Howard, I'll be. Well, I guess that's looking like a decent pick, even though it was a very late round pick. Defensive Rookie of the Year, nobody. Best QB. Caleb Williams didn't make top 10. Best running back, Alvin Kamara finished 5th. Best receiver, Chris Olave 10th. Best offensive lineman. No love for Ramczyk there, though, even though he made the Pro Bowl. Best defensive lineman, nobody. Best linebacker, no one. Best DB, nobody. Best kicker. Groupie finished 4th, okay. And that's it. Kamara finished 5th for best running back in the NFC, which isn't bad. Hopefully he can continue to be okay. He had a pretty good year. He had a plus 1,000 yard season. So he did pretty well this year. And it looks like that the Falcons... No, the Chiefs did beat the Falcons. So it looks like the Chiefs once again won another Super Bowl. It's their 4th Super Bowl championship. Mahomes, of course, was Super Bowl MVP. They beat the Falcons by 7. So the Falcons have lost. So they've been to the Super Bowl 4 times. And once again, they lost. Nico Collins won Offensive Player of the Year for the Texans. And Defensive Player of the Year went to Josh Allen from the Falcons, who I would have loved to spend the money on the first off season that we had, but we didn't have any money, so we couldn't do anything. And Offensive Rookie of the Year went to actually Carson Beck of the Giants, the former Georgia Bulldog. And Jeremiah Alexander won Defensive Rookie of the Year with the Jaguars. So that's the way that the 2025 season shaped out. So now we're going to head into 2026, and we're going to head into the new season, hopefully with some optimism coming off of a big regular season finale. I'm going to let the staff be in place for one more season. But if we can't get any better and get into the playoffs with hopefully more talent, but then again, I'm kind of banking on the fact that this free agency period is going to be good, but something tells me it may not be as good, and if that's the case, then after this next season, we will definitely move on from Dennis Allen and the rest of the staff that is on this team. We're probably just going to have to clean house with the coaching staff. Not really with the players, just with the coaching staff. All right, so let's take a look at retirements. I don't know if we had any retirements, but something tells me we might have, and it looks like we do. So let me take a look and see who retired. Marcus May retired after only 9 seasons. Wow, so we got to replace our strong safety. And Lou Headley is retiring after 3 seasons as our punter? Those are some of the weirdest retirements. And one of them didn't even include the Honey Badger. So Matthew was still going to play for another season. So, wow, that's very interesting. Okay, so because we had May retire, I want to take a look at our secondary free agents and see if maybe I need to reconsider some things. Because do we have any safeties whose contracts are about to expire? I feel like we had at least one safety who... Yeah, well, JT Gray... Well, May is a strong safety. Okay, so we actually don't have to worry about losing Gray. So I'm going to let everything... I'm going to let these guys hit the open market. And it'll still give us, I think, basically $100 million to work with this offseason. So hopefully we'll have a decent free agency class, but I don't know. Some years are good, some years are meh, some years are really, really good. But let's just kind of take a look here. So let me take a look and see what positions we really need to look at upgrading. All right. I mean, I would be okay with finding a veteran, decent backup quarterback, because whenever Hayner's contract expires, we're just going to let him walk. He's not going to come back. We could use some more depth at running back because we don't have another running back right now. Our fullback is at a 70, so that's good. Let me actually see what Caleb Williams' rating is at now. Is he in the 80s? No, he's still a 79. Okay, all right. Well, it's kind of discouraging, but maybe next year will be the year that he breaks out. 91, Chris Olave, Johnny Wilson, 77, 76, Carter. All right. If there's another good receiver who's in the 80s who could help us out, I think that would be worth doing. We could use a better tight end, somebody in the 80s. We got to get 80 guys in here. Left guard, we don't have any, so we definitely need to upgrade that. Right guard, we're good in the 80s. So left guard, yes, definitely need some upgrades there. But the offensive line is coming together pretty decently. And defensive line, we definitely need some help. Granderson is decent at 82, but if there's somebody better, sure. And, you know, Smith we drafted, but still, we could use some help there. And if there's a defensive tackle that's really good, I think I'm probably going to bring him in there. Jennings, I just worry about the injury now, and we need to get linebackers here that are in the 80s. We don't have one guy that is in the 80s. Shaq Barrett is our best linebacker, and he's a 73 overall. So that kind of leaves a lot to be desired. We could use an 80 overall corner, even though just as we brought him back, and we got Denver Harris, you know, after playing his rookie season. And we got some young guys here that are getting a bit better, but not taking the starting jobs yet. And strong safety, right now, Jordan Howden is penciled in as our starter at 74 overall since May retired. But hopefully we can find a guy in the 80s. We do need a new kicker because our kicker decided to retire, and we also need a new punter. So we need to get an entirely new group for special teams. So let's go ahead and take a look at the free agency market for the 2026 offseason. And let's see who's out here. Wow, Garrett Wilson is there. Okay, listen. We need help. What will this do? That knocked us down to what? 60 million left? That did put us above the Raiders. You may think I'm crazy. You can call me that. But Caleb Williams is still a 7-8 overall quarterback. I want to win a Super Bowl. Brock Purdy is one of the best free agents on the market. Garrett Wilson, I know, is 91 as well. But I'm not going for that. Although, if we're going to go for Brock Purdy, we're going to have to cut back in other areas. That's just the way that it has to be. So because of that, I'm going to cut back on trying to find another receiver, but I'm not going to cut back on left guards. So, Isaac Simonello. Yeah, I think he's definitely worth. Does he only really just want 1 year? Is that really all he's looking for this year? I guess so. Well, you know what? Since we're his only offer right now, let's drop it down to team friendly and see if he'll take this. He'll probably consider this offer. If somebody comes in with another offer that is, a little bit better than that, then I'm going to just go ahead and, raise it up. All right, defensive ends. Oh, man. There's really no good defensive ends out here. What about right ends? No really good ones either. I mean, Grady Jarrett, yeah, but he's getting up there in age. Leo Chenal. I don't know who that is. I'm not even kidding. He's not too much better than what we have in Jennings. What about middle linebackers? Anybody good here? Oh, yes, Cole Holcomb. Jermaine Pratt is also here. All right. I'm going to bring in Holcomb. Take this 2-year deal, man. Great. Now we're down to $49 million, though. We can only do 2 more negotiations during this first period of where everybody's going to be spending all their money. Martin Emerson Jr. is the top-rated corner. He's not a scheme-fit guy, but he's actually interested in coming here because he played in Mississippi State. But there's also Rasul Douglas. And Dante Jackson. Okay, I'm going to bring in Dante Jackson to get some corner veteran help in here. Mainly just to help out since we have, of course, Alontae Jackson who walked. Where does this put us in terms of his list? Okay, so we're pretty good on his list. So you know what? I'm gonna bump this down. I'm gonna bump this down to a team friendly deal and see if he'll take this. Obviously, he's probably upset that we're gonna lowball him because if he's not getting any more serious offers, then I think it's worth it. Okay, so even with the lower offer, we're actually not that bad. Oh, Darnell Savage is available as a free agent. Wow. But we're good with the Honey Badger. I'm okay with the Honey Badger. But Donovan Wilson, oh yes, the former Cowboy. Let's bring him in here. We just lost our strong safety to retirement. This is going to be a major help for us. If we're his only offer, can we knock it down a little bit? It's only a 1-year deal, which may not be the best idea, but we can always, re-up that in, future years. Well, 5 for 5. Okay. Now, listen. I know that y'all are going to probably think that this is a little bit crazy that I'm deciding to basically go after Brock Purdy. But look at that rating. And he's also a scheme-fit quarterback. Caleb Williams isn't. Purdy may be better tailored for the offense, and he's up to a 91 overall. This is a guy who has played in big games in the playoffs before. I think this is a top-flight quarterback that we just really need. And I know that Caleb Williams, I said, was our franchise. But when you have a quarterback like this on the open market that you can get for a price like that, I just feel like that we got to go for him. And we've had 3 straight years of no playoffs. We got to do something to get this team into the postseason, get this offense truly over the hump. Even though Kamara and Olave had good seasons, you put Brock Purdy in there at quarterback, I feel like this offense is going to be better. I really hope that what I'm saying is not going to come back to bite me in the ass. I'm praying it. And also we're going to go after Cole Holcomb to fill a major hole at middle linebacker. We need a good, decent veteran middle linebacker in there. We do. And May retired, so we're going after former Dallas Cowboy Donovan Wilson. I'm just going after Wilson. He's a hard-hitting guy. He's a scheme-fit guy, and he's interested in coming here, even though he played at A&M. And we're also going to go with Dante Jackson. He played at LSU. He's going to get a chance to come back home. That's why he's interested. He's also a scheme-fit guy. I think it's perfect. And same thing with Suamalo, Oregon State. I know that's a little bit of ways away from where New Orleans is, but we need we need to fill a hole at left guard. And I feel like a 79 Isaac is going to be a big help. So that's the first wave of free agency we're going with. We're spending money. We still have $41 million to work with. Because with some of these offers, I went with the team-friendly deal because as of right now, those guys don't really have any other major offers right now. So I'm thinking that we could get them on a deal that's a little bit lower and get him on a little bit of a bargain deal. But with Brock Purdy, I wasn't going to cut any corners. The neutral deal put us in the first place in the driver's seat. But I just don't know. But I don't know if it's going to be enough to land him. If we got to bump up that offer, I will. That's why I'm saving money in other places. So let me see if we signed any of these guys. So we don't. So we only signed Holcomb so far. The Steelers came in with a better offer for Brock Purdy. Whoa. Okay. Donovan Wilson, we're still his only offer. Same thing with Jackson. The Browns upped their deal for Isaac. So you know what? We're gonna go player friendly for 2 years to try to rope him in here. I don't want to lose him. I don't want to lose him, and get that upgrade that we need at left guard. So we're gonna up that. That did put us back in the lead. And with Purdy, we're gonna up this to player-friendly deal. But this is a massive commitment. This is a 7-year freaking contract. This may be ridiculous, and that brought us down to $31 million. But it did put us back in the lead. Well, we're kind of still tied with the Steelers. Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to let this kind of feel itself out a little bit. And, yeah. Okay, all right. Well, let me take a look at other positions that we could look to get a little bit better at. Okay, so I think I'll look at just getting... All right, so let me go ahead and take a look at our roster and see now what other positions we may have to upgrade in terms of depth, because I just want to see what we got going here. We could use another running back, but we could always address that in the draft. I'm not going to worry about receiver. Oh, tight end. That's right. We need possibly some help at tight end. If we get Isaac, we'll get him. Could use another right tackle, but we can probably do that in the draft. Defensive ends, but there really weren't any good left defensive ends, so I think that's another draft position. Defensive tackle is looking okay. Middle linebacker, we got Holcomb in here, so that helps out. But there really wasn't a whole lot of good talent at the other linebacker spots, so we just may have to look at the draft for those. And safety, hopefully we get Wilson. We do need a kicker and a punter. That's what we need. We need to go get a kicker and a punter. And I don't want to draft those positions, so let's just go ahead and get them. See who's the best kicker and punter on the market. Let me actually take a look at the defensive ends again, and maybe see if I miss. Let me see. So who have we targeted? Who are we still targeting? Are there defensive ends that we've targeted or no? Okay, so we did tackle. We haven't targeted any defensive ends. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and actually see about some defensive ends. Just kind of looking for backup reasons. Oh, Robinson again. Tyquan Lewis seems like a good option. Let's bring him in on a team-friendly one-year deal. Get him in here and get some help and depth. Where does that put us with Lewis? We're his only offer. I didn't really look at defensive tackles extensively, so maybe I should just look at it again just to make sure. Now, there's really nobody too good there. Let me take a look at linebackers once again. Well, Chanel is going to the Broncos, so he's out of the question. Monty Rice doesn't look too shabby. I'm going to bring in Grant Stewart to get some linebacker depth, because I just feel like we need that in certain ways. That's what I'm kind of thinking about. And also, while I'm here, let me see if I can get a backup right tackle, somebody to help out a little bit. Ram check. Darian Kennard. Let's go ahead and bring him in here. All right, 7 out of 10. Dante Jackson we're still negotiating with. All right. I think that's all I'm going to do with targets during this period. Okay. The Steelers are out in front of us. We could lose Brock Purdy. We could lose Purdy. If we do, we break. I don't know, guys. I think that's the most I'm willing to do. So Jackson, Isaac, Lewis, Kennard, and Stewart. I don't know if we can go too much higher. I'm gonna take a risk. I've already upped the offer for Purdy. Let's see if we get him. Moment of truth, guys. Do we have a new franchise quarterback, or is he going to the Steelers? Did we get him? Did we get him? Did we get him? We got him! Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. We got Brock Purdy as our quarterback. So we got Purdy. Holcomb, Wilson did sign. So did Jackson, Isaac, Lewis, Kennard, and Stewart. So we've signed everybody who we've targeted. And I think that as of now, I'm going to take another look at the roster. I think that actually may be I think that's it. I think that's the best that we could do. I don't really think I need to worry about doing that anymore, doing any more negotiations. So look at that, 91 overall QB. Well, now we've got some jersey swapping to do again. Caleb, I don't know if 18's still available. Is it? If it's not, I'll take it off somebody and put it back on you. All right, Caleb, you're getting your 18 back because we got to make room for this man to wear his proud Iowa State 13. And like I mentioned, this is the third time I'm going to say this, but this team has missed the playoffs the first 3 years that I've done this rebuild. Brock Purdy being available is insane. And when you get a chance to get a guy like this in free agency and we don't have to trade for a big-time upgrade at a position that's the most important, I just feel like it's worth doing. Now, Caleb may get a little upset. He may think he's got to fight for his job now, which he probably does. But Brock Purdy's coming in here. He's going to be our new starting quarterback. We got Kamara and we got Miller. I'm going to probably, running back. If there's a veteran running back I can bring in, that'll probably help out a little bit too. Receivers were good. I forgot about tight ends. All right, there may be a 70-plus tight end that's not that bad, so I may just do that. But bringing in Isaac's going to help out with the offensive line big time. Offensive line depth is good. We got Kennard to back him up. Lewis, really a stopgap guy. Maybe we'll let Darius Smith play, but I don't know. And we still have Granderson, and we have that. But the draft is always an option. And Jennings, we have Stewart coming in here to, back up Jennings, who's coming off the injury. Bringing in Stewart is really just a deal where, we just want some extra, help back there in case maybe Jennings is not looking too hot and, we just need some help. That's what I'm thinking. Have Stewart wear 40. Hopper. Middle linebacker, we got Cole Holcomb as our new starting middle linebacker. Shaq Barrett's still going to be here, but I still feel like that's something we can address in the draft. And Dante Jackson is a new corner. Even though we brought back Benjamin, I still think it's worth giving a contract to Jackson. Harris is now our fourth corner. We got some young guys backing those guys up as well. We still got the Honey Badger, and we got Donovan Wilson as our new strong safety. He's only on a one-year deal, and we kind of got him for a little bit of a cheap deal for an 81 overall strong safety. We're going to give him a new contract after this season to help us out a little bit and to keep him here for a little bit. Okay, so we actually still got some work to do with free agency because we just need to get some positions filled with, other players who are going to kind of fill some gaps. We need a kicker and a punter. I forgot to do that for the second negotiation portion of free agency. All right, so let's So let's go. I'm going to get Fairbairn to be our new kicker. 1-year deal. Sure, he'll take that. And we need a new punter. And let's go ahead and get Tommy Townsend in here. Neutral deal. I got 16 million left. Halfbacks. Zamir White looks pretty solid. He's a scheme fit guy as well, so I'm going to bring him in on a 2-year deal. Get some running back depth here behind Kamara just to get some help. Where does that put us? Decent position or no? Oh, yeah, 1-year deal. So, you know what? We got to lower this. Cheaper deal. 1-year deal. It's got to save some money. Got to save some of that dough. All right. Final wave of targets. We've got kicker, punter, Townsend, Fairbairn, White. Oh, tight ends. I didn't look at tight ends. I haven't looked at tight ends all off season. I know the top guys are gone. Goddard's gone. Higbee's already gone. Okay, so there's really nobody really that great. So the draft may be the better option. So I'm going to just do that instead. We still have Parkinson on the roster, but we do need to get a tight end in the draft because we don't have one. Well, we don't have a backup tight end. We need some depth back there. We need some depth behind at least Parkinson. All right, let's take a look and see if we got the rest of those free agents to sign. I'm sure we did, but I just want to double check to see. So we did get Townsend, and we did get Fairbairn. And did we get that running back? Yes, we did get Zamir White. Cool. We have $14.3 million to spend. Alrighty then. So now that we are in draft mode, let's go in and take a look at Mock Draft 5, and let's see what they have us projected to do. Where is our pick in the first round? 9th overall. So we have another top 10 pick, Max Murphy. Okay, now that right there, I think is a good direction to go. Linebacker out of USC. One of the top guys in the draft. Yes, I think that if Max is there, I think we should definitely grab him. Nobody else really gets me. I mean, if Jordan Hall slips, maybe, but Max Murphy looks like the more sure bet. And everybody else, we got these right tackles here, but we got Ramczyk there. So yeah, I think Max Murphy left outside linebacker, I think maybe the direction to go. But I need to get at least one more defensive end in this draft, and I definitely need to go ahead and get a tight end. If there's a good receiver, maybe in like, I don't know, the 3rd round or 4th round, something like that, option there. But we'll see. Let's get ready for the draft. Let's start drafting here. So the Bucks did stick to the board and took Jordan Hall. So hopefully that means that Max Murphy is still available on the board. Yes, he is. Left outside linebacker. And we're going to go with him. We need some help at linebacker. We got Holcomb. Obviously, we did draft Darius last year, but Max is rated higher, so he will probably start over him as a rookie. Got a good new rookie linebacker in the first round. Okay, so now, what about defensive ends? Are there any good defensive ends that are here? Rounds 1 to 2, Max Buchanan. No college. But you know what? We do need some defensive end help, so I'm going to take a risk and take Max Buchanan in the 2nd round.
The New Orleans Saints are now on the clock.
I don't think he's a real player, though, but it is what it is. All right. So let's see about the board. What about tight ends? Are there any decent rated tight ends here? 3 to 4 round guys. Nick Middleton out of Ohio State doesn't look too bad, so I'm going to take him. Need a new tight end.
It's the New Orleans Saints, now on the clock.
All right. 4th round pick here. Luke Truman out of TCU looks pretty solid. Let's go ahead and get another receiver in here. Get a scheme fit guy as well as far as skill positions.
Selection, the Saints are on the clock.
That'll help. All right. Ooh, this defensive tackle doesn't look too bad. Quan McAllister out of Oklahoma. He slipped to the 5th round when he had a 3 to 4th round grade on him. So this may be a steal.
On the clock
Hopefully
now,
it is,
the
but
New Orleans Saints.
we'll see. All right, and now we're in the 6th round. Let's see who's left here. I think it might be good to get an offensive lineman here. These guys are looking pretty good. Let's go with James Blythe out of SMU. Get another left tackle in here for depth.
The New Orleans Saints are now on the clock.
Okay. This is our last pick in the 7th round. So I think maybe with this position, with this pick, let's see. What quarterbacks are out here? Well, these are undrafted potential guys. I don't know. I'm just thinking QB just to get a scheme fit guy. This guy, J.J. Hall, out of, I think it says Illinois. We're going to draft him in the 7th round. And that is our draft. All right. Now let's take a look at our draft. Went and got the USC linebacker Max Murphy, 1st round pick, 9th overall. 2nd round pick, we went with Max Buchanan, defensive end. We don't know what college he's from. It says NA. We took Nick Middleton, tight end out of Ohio State in the 3rd round. Needed some depth there. Took Luke Truman. He was a scheme fit receiver out of TCU, 4th round selection. 5th round pick, Quan McAllister, defensive tackle out of Oklahoma. And 6th round pick, James Blythe, left tackle out of SMU. And we took J.J. Hall, quarterback out of Illinois, with their 7th round pick. Just wanted to get some quarterback depth because I figured, hey, why not? So let me go ahead and adjust our roster here. I want to see if, before we start the preseason, if we need to just upgrade positions based on what we maybe have a lack thereof, so to speak. Okay, quarterbacks are looking pretty good. Yeah, Zamir White is basically right like Jamal Williams, and he is a scheme fit guy too, so that kind of helps out a little bit. So Howard's a 70 as a fullback, so it's not too bad. Luke Truman, I don't think he's a real player, but let me just see if he is. Luke Truman. I don't think he's a real player. Yeah, he's not a real player. We'll keep him wearing number 4. And I don't think Nick Middleton is a real player either, but let me see. Nick Middleton? No, he's not a real player. He can wear 47. What's his rating to start out with? 66. All right, well, Parkinson's going to be our starting tight end again. 71 overall tight end is not really that much to get excited about, but it could help out. So we do have 3 guards. Can we potentially move one of these tackles over to guard? Blind's the guy we just drafted. Maybe Downey? Could we maybe move him to guard? Just to give us another guard over there on the left side. wonder what this puts his rating at. Probably not that great. 62. Okay, so he actually gets a little bit better. All right. It's not Wormley. And Chad Darren Kennard's going to back him up. Okay, so offensive line's looking pretty solid. So Max Buchanan starting out is 66. So he's actually not better than Darius Smith. So I think Darius, I'm just going to let him start this season. See what he can do. You know, he's had a year of, you know, being behind a veteran guy and Robinson to learn, and hopefully that helps out. You know, I'm just hoping that it does. We have Lewis as a veteran, kind of in that group, 8-year pro. We still have Granderson, Riley, and of course Nelson Cesar, who used to be, actually I think used to be recruited by Tech back in the day, but he played at Houston. Saunders. Quan McAllister, we drafted from Oklahoma, is bottom of the depth chart, 62 overall defensive tackle. Yeah. Now Max Murray, I'm pretty sure is real. Is he a real player? So he's not a real player. Okay, I stand corrected. But you know what? I like him rocking that 98, like Max Crosby. So this is another Max. Mad Max. That's his nickname. Mad Max. And 71 overall, Jennings. So immediately Murphy ascends to being in front of him for the starting left outside linebacker position. Hopper really hasn't progressed very much, and I think that once his contract is up, we're just going to let him test the open market. Holcomb and Shaq Barrett. Okay, so I'm going to actually see if maybe now I can move Jennings over to right outside linebacker to give us some help over there. You know what? Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. What about if I just move... let me move Stewart over to right outside linebacker to give us a little bit of help. Just to have a second linebacker behind Barrett. $68, that's not bad for a backup behind Barrett. Lattimore, Dante Jackson helps. We got Harris. Got Matthew, Melton still backing him up. Strong safety now is Donovan Wilson. Mustafa. Fairbairn, you know, Townsend, I want to see if maybe he can wear, I know he wore number 5 at, with the Chiefs. Alright, we'll get these numbers kind of situated around a little bit. Because I think right now our 4th-string quarterback, Hall, is wearing number 5. So I want to see if maybe I can change him to, I don't know, maybe like another like number or something like that. You know what? I probably can't because we have a bunch of guys that are like corners that are wearing like single-digit numbers, and those guys like aren't really, I think, worthy of that. Corners. We got a bunch of corners. Yeah, this Leslie Polk guy, I'm going to change his number to, I don't think number 9 is a retired number, but Drew Brees wore that number for years. Hilberg for 22. And we'll have Hall. We'll give him, hate to give him Drew Brees' old number, but what we're doing, I don't think it's an officially retired number, so I'm not too worried about the bad reception from the fans, if you know what I mean. And we're going to have Fairbairn wear number 7, because that's, I think, one of the numbers he used to wear during his playing days for the Texans, even though I think it was like, I don't know if it was 17 or 7. It might have been 7. Yeah, Fairbairn, we're going to have him wear number 7. And punter, Townsend, you are going to rock your old number 5, just like you did in Kansas City, where you just won another Super Bowl. I assume he was with Kansas City last year, but I don't know. He could have been with another team. needless to say, because of this man coming to us in free agency, I think our roster is looking a lot better heading into 2026. I'm very excited about the way this team is looking now. I know that Caleb Williams is still here, but you know what? When you have an opportunity to get somebody like Brock Purdy, I feel like you do so. He's a 91 overall quarterback, one of the best in the NFL probably right now. He fits our scheme, so I think he's the perfect guy to quarterback the New Orleans Saints in 2026. And it boosts our offense. You know, we're still at an 80 for offense, even though we've kind of been knocked down a couple of notches, I feel like. But we have a decent offensive line. We're looking decent in some areas. So hopefully 2026 brings us a better season. And you guys are going to find out tomorrow, because I'm going to kick off the Brock Purdy era tomorrow during another live stream as I get ready to start my weekend. So thank you guys for tuning in. And I apologize for, maybe my bitterness during this live stream. Just things that happened today that got me a little bit hot under the collar, but I'm going to go to sleep tonight, wake up tomorrow. It's a brand new day, and hopefully it'll have some positive vibes and positive feelings. That's all I'm hoping to do. So anyway, thank you guys for checking out the live stream, and I will see you guys in the next video of the New Orleans Saints rebuild. Have a good night.